Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Kent Mulgat. I'm joined by Byron Ritchie and Corbin Vaughan and Ryder Ritchie from the Kelowna PeeWee Rockets hockey team that's headed off to Quebec City. Byron, you're the coach. Tell me a little bit about this team. I take it they tend to enter a lot of tournaments and come away winners. What is it about this team that makes it so good?
Well, I think they're a hard-working group. They're really passionate about what they do. They come to the rink with a purpose every day to get better. And for some reason, this 06 age group and 07 age group in Kelowna is very talented. So we're lucky to have a good group of kids.
Right. So for people who aren't familiar with this tournament, it is a huge deal, I understand. I take it that over the course of the tournament, they expect about 200,000 people to come by and watch games. 19 countries are represented. I'm going to ask, this is your son, Ryder, here.
Right.
Ryder, how is it going to feel to step out onto the ice and look up and see thousands of people?
It's going to feel great. It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, Byron, in order to make this possible, this is just a regular team. People don't necessarily have money to be flying all around the world. So you've had to do a lot of fundraising. How has it been getting, community support?
It's been great. Marnie Adams has been, spearheading our fundraising campaign, which is, we got notified, I think, pretty late in November that we got accepted into the tournament. So we were a little bit behind the 8 ball there, but she's been full blast since then, and the parent group's been great in chipping in and doing whatever they can. So we're trying to make it work the best we can.
Right. Corbin Vaughan, you're going to be on the ice too. Are you nervous about this? This will be the biggest stage that you've ever played hockey at.
Yeah, there's lots of competition, lots of pressure every game. So,
do you have any idea how good the other teams are going to be?
It'll be tough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
These teams, and maybe I'll put the question to you, Byron, they're not just selected because they wanted to fly the flag of this country or that country. They've reached out to teams that are truly at the top level, am I right?
From my understanding, yeah. Especially in North America, they're very selective in the teams that they invite. And the European teams, I can't imagine they'd be coming over for a holiday.
Yeah.
They'd be a lot of select teams that they have certain tryouts for to play on the teams that come to this tournament. So competition will be tough, but the boys have showed so far this year that we can hang with the best of them, and if we're on our game, I like our chances against most teams.
I made a list of some of the great players that have played in this tournament, and there's Gordie Howe, Guy Lafleur, we've got Lemieux, Gretzky, and Byron Ritchie. So you were there. What are your memories?
I was there twice as a peewee. Back then we had to win our way to the tournament. So you'd play like mini tournaments and then showdowns, and you'd win your way to the tournament. But we played in the Colisée, the Quebec Colisée, where the old Nordiques used to play. So the rink was a bit smaller. I remember big crowds, great atmosphere around the rink and around the whole city. It's a Le Carnaval going on at the time.
Yeah.
So there's lots to do outside of the rink, and it was an awesome experience, from outdoor pond hockey to tubing down ice hills and ice sculptures, and it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah. So one of your fondest memories, you'd say, from your life in hockey?
Like after a couple hits to the head, you don't remember a whole lot, but out of minor hockey, that's probably the biggest one, or the biggest memory.
Yeah. Josh Georges was just heard recently saying that, here's a guy who played a lot of hockey at the NHL level, and yet it was that tournament that stands out as one of his top memories ever.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the pinnacle for a lot of these kids, as far as high-level tournaments. So it'll be a great experience and something that they'll remember for a long time, for sure.
Can you prepare as a coach? I mean, I asked the kids this, but in terms of what the other teams will play like?
No, I think you just have to focus on ourselves. We only have a few practices left and a few games left before we head off. So we just have to focus on our game and control what we can control, and let the chips fall where they may.
And what kind of a coach are you? Have you really like, you know, skated these kids into the ground with hard workouts?
You should probably ask them.
Okay, maybe you just pretend you're not in the room right now. What's he really like as a coach?
I like him as a coach. He coaches us hard. He's disciplined.
Yeah? You don't mind the fact that he's got high expectations?
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it. I like it.
He just wants to have dinner.
Do you guys ever start messing around? Do you ever mess around in practice a bit and he's got to kind of crack the whip a little bit?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
tends to be some goofy kids.
Right. So, but he's not too hard on them. It just kind of gets them back on the
Yeah.
on task.
He's good.
So, how would you describe what kind of team you guys are?
We're a skilled team. We work hard.
What's your size like? There's such a huge size variation at that age. I remember at PeeWee, you've got some of these little teeny boys, and then they're playing along other kids that already look like men. Huge variation in size. How do you guys sort of stack up size-wise?
You got both ends of the spectrum right here in front of you.
Well, yeah.
So I've got the twins here for
Yeah.
the big boys on the team, and then Ryder's one of the shorter guys on the team. So
Yeah. I saw some of them interviewed on the local TV station, and you see one kid interviewed, and he's like a little man, you know, and then up steps the boy.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And it's a little dangerous for some of the smaller players. They get run into sometimes by the.
well, there's no body contact at this age now. Going into next year, the 06s move up to bantam. So
They
then-
still have the occasional collision, though, don't they?
They do. We've had a couple actually. One of the twins here had a big one in the Pat Quinn Classic tournament at
Yeah.
Christmas, and that was a heavy one. But you know, it in the States in Phoenix in that tournament, the American game they let us play a lot more physical.
Right.
So it was good for the guys to get leaned on a little bit and have to use
Yeah.
their bodies. So
How do you feel about that, the way that the game has evolved at the younger ages to sort of keep the hitting, per se, out of the game until a little later?
Well, you know, spending so many years in Europe, I actually, before I was, you know, all for taking hitting out to a later age, but in Europe they allow hitting much younger. So it's not so exciting for the kids when they get to 13, 14 to be able to hit now. And some
Right.
kids are in puberty, some kids aren't. So actually now I'm a fan of the European way where they have hitting younger. So
Right.
it's you know, it's not something new when there's such an age or size difference when they get to 13, 14.
Right. So what's the excitement level like on the team right now?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the boys that one.
Guys?
It's pretty exciting. We're all excited. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming in and telling us about it.
Appreciate it.
Byron
Thank
Ritchie,
you.
boys, good job. You're good at TV interviews, too. Or this is just the internet, though. You don't have to worry about it. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.